"We've decided you're not welcome here anymore," Amanda declared, locking the entrance to the beach house. Her perfectly manicured nails gripped the doorframe as she looked down at me from the porch. "This is our family property now, and quite frankly, you don't fit in." I stood quietly in the warm summer breeze, beach bag still in hand, watching my sister-in-law's smug expression. Behind her, I could hear my nieces splashing in the pool, their laughter mixing with the sound of crashing waves from the private beach. My name is Sarah Parker, and at 34, I found myself being banned from the place that had been my summer sanctuary for the past 12 years. Even after losing my husband Michael in a car accident 2 years ago, this beach house had remained my connection to him, to the family we built, to the memories we shared. "Did you hear me?" Amanda's voice sharpened with irritation at my silence. "You need to leave. Now." I adjusted my sunglasses, maintaining my composure. "Of course, Amanda, I understand completely." My calm response seemed to throw her off balance. She'd clearly been expecting a fight. "Well, good," she stuttered, clearly disappointed by my lack of resistance. "And don't try calling Dad about this. He agrees it's time for you to move on. You're not really family anymore, are you?" That last bar was meant to hurt, but I simply nodded and turned away, walking back to my car with measured steps. Behind me, I heard the door slam shut with unnecessary force. As I drove away from the beautiful Victorian beach house, my mind drifted back to the conversation I'd had with Eleanor, my mother-in-law, just weeks before she passed away 6 months ago. "Sarah, darling," she'd said, holding my hand in her hospital room, "I need you to promise me something." "Anything, Mom," I'd replied, still calling her Mom, even though Michael was gone. She'd been more of a mother to me than my own had ever been. "Promise me you'll be patient. Amanda, she's always been difficult, but she's about to learn some hard lessons. I need you to handle things with grace when the time comes." I hadn't understood then what she meant, but I promised anyway. Eleanor had always been wise, seeing things others missed. She'd welcomed me into the family with open arms 15 years ago, despite Amanda's immediate hostility toward her brother's gold-digging wife. Now, as I drove home, my phone buzzed repeatedly with messages from various family members. Amanda had apparently wasted no time spreading the news of my exile from the beach house. "How dare you make a scene?" I hadn't. Amanda's children were traumatized. They were happily swimming. "You should be ashamed." I wasn't. I silenced my phone and focused on driving, remembering Eleanor's last knowing smile and the envelope her lawyer had given me after the funeral. The envelope I hadn't opened yet, following her explicit instructions to wait until Amanda makes her move. At home, I made myself a cup of tea and finally opened my safe, pulling out the thick envelope. Inside, I found property deeds, bank statements, and a letter written in Eleanor's elegant handwriting. "My dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, it means Amanda has finally shown her true colors regarding the beach house. What she doesn't know, what none of them know, is that Michael and I had the property transferred to your name 5 years ago. The beach house is yours, my darling girl, along with the trust fund that maintains it. I love all my children, but I've watched how Amanda has treated you, how she's tried to push you out of the family since the day you married Michael. Even after his death, you've shown nothing but grace and patience. You are more my daughter than she ever tried to be. I smiled, picturing Amanda's face when she realized who really owned her precious family property. But for now, I would wait patiently, just as Eleanor had taught me. After all, some lessons are best learned in the summer. The notification was delivered on a sunny Tuesday morning, exactly 3 weeks after Amanda had banned me from the beach house. I wasn't there to witness it, but my neighbor Lisa, who worked at the local coffee shop, gave me a detailed account of Amanda's very public meltdown. "This is impossible," Amanda had screamed, waving the legal documents in the air while standing in line for her daily latte. "This has to be fake. That gold digger forged these papers." I spent that morning tending to my garden, pulling weeds and planting new flowers, just as Eleanor had taught me. "Gardens are like families," she used to say. "Sometimes you have to remove what's toxic to let the beautiful things grow." My phone started ringing around noon. First came the angry text from Amanda. "You manipulative witch. How dare you fake property documents? I'm calling the police." Then came the call from my father-in-law, Robert. "Sarah, what's going on?" "Amanda's hysterical about some legal papers regarding the beach house." I took a deep breath. The papers aren't fake, Robert. Eleanor and Michael transferred the property to me 5 years ago. She left instructions with her lawyer to reveal this only if Amanda tried to force me out. The silence on the other end was deafening. Finally, Robert spoke, his voice heavy with realization. She knew. Eleanor knew exactly what Amanda would do once she was gone. Yes, I replied simply. She did. The next few days brought a parade of reactions from family members. Some were furious, believing Amanda's claims that I had somehow tricked Eleanor. Others, who had witnessed Amanda's behavior over the years, reached out with quiet support. My sister-in-law, Kate, Amanda's younger sister, called with laughter in her voice. "Oh my God, Mom was brilliant. Amanda's been ranting for hours about how she's already hired contractors to gut the house. She even bragged about throwing away your and Michael's wedding photo album that was stored in the library." My heart clenched at this news, but then Kate continued, "Don't worry, I rescued it. Mom gave me a spare key last year and asked me to remove anything precious once Amanda started making changes. The album's safe at my house." A week after the notification, Amanda's husband Tom showed up at my door. He looked uncomfortable, shifting from foot to foot on my porch. "Sarah, can we work something out? Amanda's not handling this well. She's already told the kids the beach house would be their inheritance someday. We've made plans for renovations." I thought about all the times Amanda had excluded my children from family events after Michael died, claiming they weren't really part of the family anymore. How she'd slowly push me out of family gatherings, always with a sweet smile and a cruel comment. "I'm sorry, Tom," I said, not feeling sorry at all. "But the property is legally mine. Eleanor wanted it this way, and I intend to honor her wishes." "But what about family?" he pressed. "Exactly," I replied quietly. "What about family?" He left without another word, but his question lingered in the air. Family. Amanda had spent years trying to erase me from hers, never realizing that Eleanor had seen everything, understood everything, and planned accordingly. That evening, I visited Michael's grave, placing fresh flowers beside his headstone. "Your mother was quite something," I said softly, smiling at the marble stone. "She protected me even after she was gone." The next day, a formal letter arrived from Amanda's lawyer, challenging the property transfer. I forwarded it to Eleanor's lawyer, who responded with years of meticulously kept records, including videos of Eleanor explicitly stating her wishes regarding the beach house. "Your sister-in-law doesn't have a case," he assured me. Eleanor made sure everything was airtight. She even had psychological evaluations done before the transfer to prove she was of sound mind. I sat in my kitchen, reading through Eleanor's detailed records, and felt a deep sense of gratitude for this woman who had loved me like a daughter. She hadn't just left me a house. She'd given me the means to stand my ground against Amanda's attempts to erase my place in the family. As summer progressed, Amanda's attempts to claim the property grew more desperate. She tried appealing to other family members, spreading rumors about me, and even attempted to access the house illegally, only to find the locks had been changed. But I remained calm, just as Eleanor had asked. Sometimes the best response to chaos is perfect, patient silence. 3 months passed quickly, and the deadline for vacating the property arrived. I stood on the beach house porch early that morning, watching the sunrise over the ocean, just as Michael and I used to do. The key felt warm in my palm, not just a piece of metal, but a symbol of Eleanor's faith in me. Inside, the house still held echoes of happier times, despite Amanda's attempts to erase them. She had managed to remove some photos and replace some furniture. But the essence remained. The marks on the kitchen doorframe where we'd measured the kids' heights each summer. The small dent in the living room wall from Michael's enthusiastic Christmas decorating. The window seat where Eleanor used to read stories to all her grandchildren, even mine when Amanda wasn't around to object. "I thought I'd find you here." I turned to see Kate standing in the doorway, holding a large box. "I brought back the things I rescued," she said, setting the box down. "Including this." She pulled out the wedding album Amanda had tried to throw away. As we sat on the porch steps, looking through the photos, Kate spoke softly. "Mom told me what she was planning, made me promise not to tell anyone." She said, "Sometimes the kindest people need the strongest protection." Around noon, Amanda arrived with Tom and their children. Her face was tight with anger as she supervised the removal of their belongings. I stayed out of their way, letting them work. I hope you're happy, she spat as she carried out her last box. You've torn this family apart. I thought of Eleanor's letter, of her wisdom and foresight. No, Amanda. You did that all on your own. I'm just honoring your mother's wishes. After they left, I walked through the house, opening windows to let in the sea breeze. In Eleanor's old study, I found a sealed envelope taped under her desk drawer, marked for Sarah, after the storm. Inside was one last letter. My dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, the truth about the beach house has finally come out. I know Amanda's reaction has probably been difficult to bear, but you've handled it with the grace I always saw in you. This house isn't just about property or money. It's about legacy and love. You understood that from the first day Michael brought you here. You love this place not for its value, but for its heart. I'm trusting you to keep that heart beating. Open its doors to family, even to those who tried to close them to you. Show them what true family means. All my love, Mom. I wiped away tears and took out my phone, sending a group text to the entire family, including Amanda. The beach house will be open every Sunday for family dinner, just as it was when Eleanor was alive. Everyone is welcome. First dinner is this weekend. Love, Sarah. Responses trickled in slowly. Kate immediately replied with enthusiasm. Robert sent a simple thank you. Others responded with varying degrees of warmth. Amanda remained silent. That Sunday, I prepared Eleanor's famous seafood pasta and set the big table on the deck. Kate came early to help, bringing her kids who ran straight to their favorite spots on the beach. Gradually, other family members arrived, slightly awkward, but carrying dishes and warm greetings. As the sun began to set, I heard the unmistakable sound of Amanda's car. Through the kitchen window, I watched her sit there for a long moment before slowly getting out, holding a casserole dish. She walked up to the porch, her children running ahead to join their cousins on the beach. Eleanor's recipe, she said stiffly, holding out the dish. Mom always said no family dinner was complete without her green bean casserole. I took the dish, our eyes meeting briefly. She was right, I said softly. Thank you for coming, Amanda. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet. But as we all sat down to dinner, the sound of waves mixing with family chatter and children's laughter, I felt Eleanor's presence in every corner of the house. She had known that sometimes the strongest statements are made not through confrontation, but through quiet perseverance and an open door. The beach house had found its heart again, just as Eleanor had planned all along.